How you doing? David Qukslvr here, and welcome to another horseshoe review. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Tyson Swinger. And the Tyson Swinger was made for Art Tyson. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book here. This is the Art Tyson Second Best in the World Ain't Too Bad. It's his autobiography done by Art and his good friend Glenn Ellis. And you can get that at the email below. That's at Glenn, Glenn, two N's, .Ellis with two L's, 77 at gmail.com. I'll have that below, and I'll also have a link. You can copy instead of writing it in, you can actually copy it in the description and just copy and paste that for your pleasure. Right here behind me, see these trophies. This is from the 1993 Hall of Fame pitcher, Art Tyson. These are his personal trophies. And when we come back from my little intro, I will have Art himself talk about his book real quick. And I will, in the future, have another video with more video of him too. So here's Art, and we'll see you in a bit.
This is Art Tyson. This book that me and Glenn wrote about 3 years ago. This is my autobiography. It tells you everything about my horseshoe career, my family members, where I live, where I grew up at, and up until my adulthood. It's a very interesting book. It's all about me, about my horseshoe career. We would like everyone out there to get this book, and you can get a hold of Glenn Ellis or either Art Tyson. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Art. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to send that to me. And I do recommend getting this book. It's an easy read. It'll make a good Christmas gift, birthday gift, or whatever. Just anniversary, whatever. Anybody that's into horseshoes and likes the history of horseshoes, he's definitely a huge part of our horseshoe history. Being the first African American inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993, all the way up to all of his normal achievements. Second place twice in the World Tournament, and he's got a lot of New York State Championships under his belt. You can see all those trophies. Didn't really focus in on the what each trophy was, but he's got a lot of great accomplishments for himself as a horseshoe player, and earned his right in the history books on performance alone. Let's get into the review. These are the Tyson Swingers. Look really very familiar because the Tyson Swingers are basically the Stingers, and I just did a review on the Stingers, so they're extremely close to the Stingers. We will see how they compare to the Stingers. I know the Stingers were perfectly balanced and had one of the top two or top three hooking power ratings of all the shoes I've done. So we'll see where these stack up, and we'll go from there. First thing I want to do is I already put a measurement lines on this one, so we're going to go right into it, and we're going to get the balance rating for these. Now, a little history on these shoes. There we go. Little history on the shoes. The Tyson Swingers were, I've read somewhere that they're actually really close to the Mustangs, and all they did was just throw a ringer brake on the Mustangs and came up with this. If you read in the book, and I've seen another interview with Tyson, he had a lot of problems throwing these, and they weren't exactly just sort of like Mustangs with a ringer brake. There was more to them. There was it's definitely a different shoe than a Mustang. Let's take a look at the first. We're going to get the balance rating, and if we look at this, it's actually, these are actually toe heavy, not perfectly balanced like the Stingers, but these are actually toe heavy, and I would give them a -3 on the balance rating. So they are a little bit toe heavy. So that's not so bad, but they're pretty close to being perfectly balanced. Not like a lot of other shoes. I've had -12s. You can see the list behind me as it scans down compared to what the other ones are. Here's a little. I'm not going to be throwing these at the end of this video. One simple fact. You can see right here it says TYSO and then there's nothing. There's been a repair made to these shoes, and because of that repair, I'm not throwing these shoes. We'll see how close they are to the Stingers, and what I suggest you go and look at my Stinger review, and I'm sure that these are going to be thrown pretty close to what I did in the Stinger review. So I'm assuming that if everything is close, like the balance rating and the hooking power rating, that that everything I say about the Stingers is going to hold true to these shoes as well. So that's a -3 on the balance, and then we're going to go into the hooking power. And okay, this hook does not sit, does not get in there. That could be one of two problems. It might have this elbow, might be pumped out too much, just like the old Challengers were, or these hooks might be from stake strikes, might be bent in a little bit. They look actually pretty straight to me. They actually look pretty straight. I don't see any difference. Yeah, I don't see any real difference between all four of them. And if these were bent due to stake strikes, I would see at least one deviation or a variant where one is pushed in further. I think they're all basically cast. This is a cast ductile steel, and they're all cast pretty much the same way. So I'm going to say that these are going to sit. Yeah, they're all sitting on the stake the same way. They don't get all the way down. And I'll show you a picture of this shoe right here, of how it sits. Go with that one, see how it sits. And what we'll do is we'll measure this one here. And we'll do the hooking power rating. So this is if I have it hooked right here and I touch it, and it comes all the way up to here, it's a 5. So it's basically a 0. Like the standard for these hooks, as you see on the list, is a 0 or a 0.5 is pretty standard. But the only thing I don't like about these shoes is they do not sit. You look down, they do not sit comfortably on the stake. This is a 1-inch stake, just like we have in the pits, and it's not sitting. It's not going in. I would really love to see if I could get. I don't even think that elbow is part of the problem. I just don't think these were manufactured very well for that 1-inch stake to go in there and really grasp that stake. So I don't know if that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of these, and that could be a big problem. Where if it doesn't allow to get on that stake, and you have a lot of it's a more or less a turn shoe, and turn shoes usually come into the stakes and hook them pretty hard, and maybe they just had some problems hooking. So if anybody has Tyson swingers and you can put them on a stake, maybe at your home pit or at a club, and let me know how they sit. But these are not sitting very nicely in the stake. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and just get the weight. And I can't remember. I'd have to look back at the Tyson the Stingers and see if those were a little heavy. They might be a little heavier on a 2.9. area. Let's see what these come in at. All right, these come in at exactly 2 pounds 8 ounces. So these are just a standard shoe. So my overall opinion of these, I would not go out and buy something like this as far as having to have the Tyson swingers in my arsenal of shoes. There's a few things I don't like about it, and those two things are the hooking power rating and the balance rating. If I wanted something like this, I would just go ahead and buy the Stingers. They've been re-engineered, and I think the Stingers are just a definite upgrade to the Tyson swingers. They are perfectly balanced, and like I said, they're in the top 5 of the deepest hooks, and you won't be able to match these swingers against the Stingers. They're just an inferior quality looking back at them. That's pretty much the end of the review. Like I said, I'm not going to go outside and throw them. I've already done that. Okay, to wrap it up, I just want to mention once again to go out and get Art Tyson's book, and you definitely love it. So far, I'm like I said, I'm halfway through it, and I'm enjoying it very immensely. So for David Qukslvr and Horseshoe Reviews, I'm out. Thanks a lot.